Yeah. Good evening, everybody. I hope I'm audible. Am I audible to you? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Professor, we're all muted for
Sir.
proper live stream, so we will respond through the chat window. Sir, you're muted. Thank you.
Yeah. So this basically this unit talks about what is the place of English in the school curriculum. In the school curriculum, which has its other subheadings as English as a medium of instruction, English, the instruction through the mother tongue, learning situation in the language classroom and the subject classroom, language classroom and the subject classroom, and English regional language as a medium of instruction, and then bilingual education. Okay, so this is all about. So now let us talk about briefly about the place of English in school curriculum in the context of India. So place of English in school curriculum in India is an important issue in modern utilitarian principles. English in India in 21st century is no more a colonial burden, but a real wings of hope and prosperity. So a bridge. So the you know the what. So we are going to study the the place, the position of English in school curriculum. How English has been placed in the school curriculum in the context of India. In India, we can say. So English. If you look at the place of English in India, it's a kind of bridge to higher studies, because English, English, we say that English should continue to occupy an important place in the curriculum, in the school syllabus for secondary school, so that at the end of the secondary stage, the students will attain good working knowledge of English. So the students learn English, efficiently at secondary level. So it won't be difficult to catch to go for higher studies. So it's a kind of we are taught English at secondary level, so that we won't be facing any difficulties when we go to a higher education or university or a college. Many students also discontinue studies after the second level and avail a job as a means of livelihood. Sometimes there are students who discontinue their studies after the secondary level, and they go for a job as a means of livelihood. If they learn English efficiently at the school level, they will find it easy to secure a job. For most of the offices where they will be placed if they have learned this the language, if they are proficient, or if they are fluent in language in terms of speaking and writing, they will get easily placed in different companies and industries also. So it is also connected with the livelihood, because there are people who leave their education after secondary, after doing their school or after doing their secondary education, and they go to jobs. Okay. And so English, we can say, occupies a good fortune in the school. English, it can be, we can talk about English in the context of in terms of making careers. Okay, making a career, for example, English as a career, you can put it like that. English helps to build up career. Yeah, English helps to build up career. Many take higher studies of English, build their career as English teacher or other numerous jobs where knowledge of English will be required as. So there are people who go for English helps to build up the career. So there are many people who take up higher studies, who go to higher studies of English. They build their career as English teacher. They join the different institutes. They join college or university to teach English. And other people also go for other jobs also, where knowledge of English will be required. For example, if you talk about these MNCs, if you talk about these companies, they hire people, as content creators, I mean, content editors. So there, these language people are required. So English has, so that is, that is, those are the prospectus of English. And at the secondary stage also, there are so many subjects in which there is enrichment by English. Okay, so for imploring extensive knowledge for these books, it's the subject of English which will help them. So at secondary level, when we talk about secondary level, secondary school education, there are various subjects we are, we as the students are supposed to study. So it's because of English, it's through English, enrichment, is possible. Enrichment is possible. So it is actually, it's basically the subject of English which helps. And like English, also, like visiting foreign universities can be, if you have learned, if you are skillful in a language, if you're proficient or fluent in language, you can go to foreign universities also. So in future, many students go, for example, they do their masters from foreign, or they do their research from foreign countries, where with the help of English, it will be very positive for them to speak, to write, and to learn. So at the secondary level, the foundation of English should be sound, so that the foreign countries, there will be no difficulty for studies in English. So English will help them to maintain contact with the outside world. So it is with this language, because it's an international language. So it's a kind of connecting bridge, with the different countries. So it is because of English. It is because of English we connect to the other countries, and we can go to foreign countries for the higher studies. So English will help them to maintain contact with the outside world. So it's basically because of English we can connect to them, we can maintain contact with the other countries or with the outside world. And English also, in the context of modernity, also the subject of English, which acquaints us with the fundamental ideas of modern civilization or modern science and technology, or even growing knowledge of all the advanced countries of the world. So it's basically because of this, the language of the knowledge of English, which makes us aware, with the different ideas of modern civilization or modern science and technology, because English is the language of, modern civilization. English is the language of modern science and technology, and other branches of knowledge also. Okay, so that is about the, uh, the place of English in this, in school curriculum. Okay, now English as a medium of instruction also, it's because, it can be studied. English as a medium of instruction, we can have a discussion on that. Learning situation in the language classroom and the subject, and English as a medium of instruction also. So we have There are schools, the convent schools, for example, the private schools where English as a medium of instruction, where there is medium English as a medium of instruction, and sometimes time in, for example, in rural areas, maybe regional language. Uh, in maybe in some states, for example, I think few years back when who was the Congress chief minister of the Andhra Pradesh, I think I think till college education this the Telugu was the medium of instruction, but now it had changed completely. Few years back, also in Telangana, during the Congress government, I think Telugu was the, if I am not wrong, the medium of instruction. So there are various states where regional language is the medium of instruction, and sometimes also bilingual education. Also, when we talk about bilingual education, bilingual refers to what? Bilingual refers to speaking, dealing with two languages, right? Lingual refers to one who speaks languages. Bilingual refers to somebody who speaks more than one language, that is two languages. Okay, so now let us talk about the so let us talk about now the role of the English teacher. Now the other topic is role of the English teacher. Now what is the, there are several roles. Am I audible to you? Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Your voice is audible.
Okay. One second. So now let us talk about the role of the English teacher. So the role of the English teacher, several roles are assumed for teachers in language teaching. There are several roles when we talk about English teachers. So an English teacher has to has to perform, we can say, has to perform different roles, when it comes to, when we talk about English language teaching. So Breed and Candle, these two people, they describe teacher roles as follows. I will be reading out it for you. The teacher has two major. Now he says that these two people, they say that the teacher has two main roles. An English teacher has two main roles. The first role is to facilitate the communication process between all participants in the classroom. So that is what also in the previous class we talked about interactive approach, where there's these two people who carried out a research where they said that interactive communication or interactive approach must be implemented in the classroom, and that is kind of modern means of teaching a language, or modern technique of teaching a language. They said that it, because interactive approach or student centered, in the similar way, in the similar fashion, they're actually talking about the same thing. These two people called Green and Candling. So they say that teacher has two roles to perform. They have two main roles. One role is to facilitation. So I told you that in interactive approach in the previous class, that a teacher is like the controller, he is like the manager, he is like the facilitator, he is like the director. So he is like he is not as such, he does not act as a teacher. He's not a teacher, he's not an authentic professor, but he acts as a counselor, maybe as a director, as a controller, as a manager, as a facilitator. So that is what his job is. So they are basically talking about the same thing. These two people called Green and Candling, they said that the first role, the very first role, the primary role of a teacher is to facilitate the communication and between all the participants, between the students, between the participants in the classroom, and between these participants and the various activities and the texts. So when we talk about when an interaction takes place, when an interaction takes place in the classroom, there are different participants. For example, we may be talking about a particular text. We may be discussing a particular text. Okay, so there are various activities to be performed in the classroom. That's what he talks about. Okay, and the various activities and the texts. Are you getting me? Do you follow me?
So far, so good, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And everybody please mute yourselves. It's better to mute yourself so that, see, sometimes what happens when one starts speaking, the other people also start speaking at the same time. So kind of disturbance, happens. So, you do one thing, I have muted you all, please. If any one of you is not muted, unmuted, please mute yourself, okay? So that there is no noise. So basically, he talks about these two people called Breen and Candlin. Breen, Breen, and Candlin, Candlin. Candlin, these two people who are researchers, they talk about communication. They say that the first role of an English teacher is to facilitate the communication between the different participants. The communication can take place between different participants and the various activities and the texts. Okay, so we may be participating in for example, in a group discussion. We have an activity to perform where we have many participants in the form of students, in the form of students, in the form of learners. So that is what he talks about, that interaction takes place, different participants, either different between different participants, or the various activities and the texts. So sometimes we can have a we can choose a discussion, we can choose a text for a discussion, for example. So that can be a point of discussion, that can be an activity for a discussion. And now he talks about the second rule. He says is they say is the second role of a teacher is act as an independent participant. Independent, that is very, very important. Independent participant within the learning teaching group. So what is the second role? First role, he says that it is the one second, I think, yeah. Am I audible? Yeah. Hello?
So
Audible?
I think now at this
here?
time you will have to turn off your video because your bandwidth is jumping. Usually after 15-20 minutes of your lecture, it starts. So just turn off your video.
Okay.
We should be good.
Yeah. Okay, fine. Right. Better.
Thank you, Professor.
Yeah. Well. Okay, so he talks about the different roles. Since we are talking about the roles, the different roles or role of the English teacher. According to them, these people called Breen and Candlin, the first role of a teacher is to facilitate the communication process, of facilitation of communication between the participants or learners in a classroom. And second role of an English teacher is, according to them, is that they say that the second role is to act. English teacher has to act as an independent participant. So English teacher, the one who teaches, the teacher himself is also a participant, but he has to independently participate in a classroom discussion or any discussion. So he has to be what? Independent participant within the learning teaching group. Okay, so the later role is closely related to the objectives of the first role and arises from it. So they say that the later role, which is the independent participation on the part of teaching, is it is very closely related to the objectives of the first role, which is participatory in nature. Which is what? Participatory in nature. So these roles imply that a set of secondary roles for the teacher. Okay, first as an organizer of resources, because so in conclusion we can say that these roles imply that a set of secondary roles for the teacher. First, as an organizer of resources and as a resource himself. Okay, are you getting? So this is very interesting here. They say that these roles imply a set of secondary roles for the teacher. These roles imply a second set of secondary roles for the teacher. He says that these the roles are like teacher is a kind of organizer for the resource, and secondly, he is a resource himself because he is an independent participant. He is not a participant like students. He is supposed to be an independent participant, and in that way, he is a resource himself or herself. Second, as a guide within the classroom procedures and activities. Okay, so firstly, he's an organizer of resource and a resource himself. Secondly, he is a guide within the classroom procedure and activities. And the third role for the teacher, they say, is that of a researcher and appropriate knowledge and abilities, actual and observed experience of the nature of learning. So the third role, they say that they talk about of the English teacher is that of a researcher, one who always researches, one who is always in the process of learning and teaching, learning and getting knowledge. Okay, so they say that it is basically the teacher. The third role of a teacher is that of a researcher, one who always researches, one who always is in the process of getting more and more knowledge, getting more and more information, and from different sources, and learner with much to contribute in terms of appropriate knowledge and abilities. So teacher is supposed to contribute much in terms of what? Appropriate knowledge and different abilities, actual and observed experience of the nature of learning as organizational capacities. So these are the different roles they talk about. First say that the interactive, then they talk about that the teacher is like the teacher is like a independent participant, and they say that teacher is like a kind of organizer of resources and resource himself, and he's like a guide. He or she is like a guide within the classroom procedures and activities. And third role they say is that of a researcher, where the teacher is supposed to research, read, continuously read, continue study, he or she continues, is continuously continuing gathers knowledge from different resources. So there are different resources, there are different roles of an English teacher. So other roles also, there can be other roles assumed for teachers or need. For example, sometimes the other roles which are performed by teachers or English teachers are need analyst, counselor, and group process manager. So these can be in other contexts, in a general, for example, a general line teacher, and other teachers. In other contexts also, teachers can be analysts, they can be counselors, and they can be group managers also. And extensions and assisting groups in self-correction discussion. So there are people there, who have been called as now critiques have pointed out, however, that non-native teachers may feel less than comfortable about such procedures without special training. So they have carried a study where they say that non-native teachers may feel less than comfortable about such procedures without special. So they say that teachers should be trained. So they say that teachers should be properly, given some training so that they carry out their responsibilities in a better way. The focus on fluency and comprehensibility in language teaching may cause anxiety among teachers accustomed to seeing error suppression and correction as a major instructional responsibility, and and who see their primary function in preparing learners to take standardized or other kinds of tests. A continuing teacher concern has been the possible effect in pair or group work of imperfect modeling in student error. Although this issue is far from resolved, it is interesting to know that recent research findings suggest that data contradicts the motion contradicts the notion that other learners are not good conversational partners because they can't provide accurate input when it is solicited. So these are they actually he talks about the earlier things where he talks about the different roles which we have already discussed. So he says that teachers can be assigned. There are different roles. There are various roles to be performed when we talk about the English language teacher. And he also talks about teachers' proficiency. Okay, the proficient, and he also talks about the fluency, in terms of speaking, handwriting, comprehensibility. Also, his comprehension skills also. So yeah, so these are the different roles a teacher performs. We can say. Yeah, any. If you want to say anything, I mean, uh, I want to, know about your viewpoint also. If you want to add up to whatever I have said or kind of have a discussion, you can do it. Because we still have time, right? So I will at least continue up to 5:30 at least, yeah. So yeah, anybody, you can mute yourself. Those who want to talk, only those who want to talk, who want to speak. Hello, hello. Am I audible to you? Hello, hello.
Yes,
Hello?
sir, you are audible.
Yeah. David, yeah. You want to say something, or you want to add up whatever I have said so far? You want to talk more about the role of the English teacher or the English classroom? You can do that, please. If you want to do that, you can do that.
No, Professor, you pretty much covered everything. I don't want there's nothing much to add to what you said.
Okay, anybody else? Yes. There are 25 participants. I hope everybody is listening to me. I mean, everybody is the active participant here. Yes. Anything you want to add up? Anybody other than DV?
No, Professor. So far, so good.
Yes. Nobody? Okay. Yes. So, 1 second. So, students, I would like to stop you. See you in the next class, maybe tomorrow. Okay.
So I had certain questions regarding these things. I just wanted to ask them real quick.
Okay.
Now, would it be easier if we are given some side headings or topics to prepare, or would you just want to show us the topics and side headings you're going to be taking over for tomorrow? so that we can come a little mentally prepared, though we might not have, not everyone might have time to take a look.
Just to, before coming to the class, before attending a particular class, one should.
You are not audible, sir.
One second. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, DV, what are you saying? DV,
so
can you repeat that?
Yes, please. So for tomorrow's class, if you have the side headings or if you have the topics, could you just show us so that we'll at least make a note of it, and we are partially prepared for tomorrow's lecture.
Okay.
Just tomorrow's class.
I think that should be your normal routine. When you come to any class, you should at least go through the contents.
Right.
As you rightly said, the headings or subheadings, whatever. The thing is that the issue with me is that I don't have a proper textbook. The textbook which is provided by the university, where it is according to the syllabus. I have the contents with me. I have jotted down the contents. I have one of my friends has sent to me the contents, the entire syllabus. So I have to what I'm doing. I'm collecting material from here and there. I'm collecting. I have some books. I collect notes, some notes from here and there, from different books, from different sources. So that is how I prepare for the class. I don't have a university textbook with me, but they will send me. They are going to send its own.
Correct. So in lieu, what or I could just pull up a material. I could show you just for tomorrow's content. What would you be covering on a broader sense? Could you just give me 1 minute? I'll just get them.
Sure. Yes.
Thank you.
I will be talking about tomorrow. From tomorrow onwards, we will start block number 2. Okay. Block 2 that talks about the language learning process. Language learning process, which talks about, which is very psychological in nature. Like, we are going to talk about motivation, attitude, aptitude, and memory. Language learning principles, language skills, language learning strategies, target levels and learners. We are going to talk about block 2, language learning process.
Yeah. Language learning block principles. So unit 6 and 7, Professor? Language learning principles.
Unit 5.
Unit 5 and 6 we are going to talk about. Yeah.
Okay. Sure. Thank you.
Unit 5 and 2 we are going to talk about. Yes. Sure. Anybody has questions? Anything? We can have a discussion. We can pose the questions. We can initiate a discussion regarding the contents, the topic we have been discussing so far. If you have any personal views to share, you can always do that. This class, especially this class, has to be interactive. It is not like one-way traffic or one-way flow of information. It has to be interactive. It has to be communicated. You are always welcome to share your views, viewpoints. I do not see many students joining this class. Sandhya, Santosh, Gayatri, Himalata. I think I'm familiar with these names. Yeah. So what about other people? Why are they not joining? What is the strength of? What is the strength in other classes? DV, what is the strength in other classes?
Professor, it's pretty much
as in this class.
It's pretty much 25, 24 people. Same as the current class.
Okay. So same in as in the current class. Okay. Yes. Okay, fine. Okay. Anything you want to share with me, or you want to discuss anything? We can do that.
Okay, Professor, I just had an idea. Like you've mentioned, it's going to be Unit 5 and 6. Could we give you certain side headings from the material so that you can discuss on that so that people can just follow through?
You can do that. You WhatsApp me those headings or
Understood.
whatever.
Understood. Understood.
Okay, fine. You can always do that. Yeah.
Sure. Sure, I'll do that.
Yes. Okay, dear students, I want to take a leave now. See you in the next class. In the next class, we are going to talk about block second, the language learning process. We will be talking about Unit 5, most probably, and I will start with the intro of the unit, and then we'll be talking about different things like motivation, attitude, aptitude, and memory. So Unit 5 and 6 we'll be talking about in the tomorrow's class, in the next class. Okay. All right then.
Sir, one more small request.
Yeah, please.
After your explanation, if you can just give us the brief heading that what we have discussed, that will be more helpful for us to write the answers.
Yes, so that's exactly what we have planned.
When you are listening to it, that's what we were talking about. And when you attend to a particular class, you should have this habit of making notes. I think in the previous academic year, I have been talking about the same thing. At least you should make some notes. You should prepare some notes so that they can be helpful. Your study material is the best. That is the best. But with that, you should cultivate this habit of developing writing notes. That's what your attitude should be. Okay. Okay, then see you in the next class. I'm going to leave the meeting. Okay.
Good day, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Tawseef.
Yes, ma'am.
How are you?
Ma'am, I'm good. I'm fine.
Did you get the book? Madhavi was telling yesterday that he has sent you some text, it seems.
Yes, ma'am. I have sent her the address. She will be doing it by tomorrow, maybe.
Yeah. Yesterday we were pretty busy. That's why we couldn't send. And Madhavi said to me, tomorrow she will give me the book and I will get it by this one, speed post. It will reach you. Within how many days it will reach you?
I think it will reach within third or fourth day. It will reach third day, I think.
So you will be receiving on Thursday if I send it on Monday.
Yes, ma'am. Wednesday or Thursday. Wednesday evening it will reach if you post it in the morning. In the morning. Morning, Monday, if you post it, then it will reach on Wednesday evening. So minimum it will take 3 days, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
We are having a Jaishankar Memorial Lecture tomorrow at 11 o'clock. So it will be till 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. It is Zoom lecture only. But I will see whether the office staff will come or not. I will see to post it in the morning itself. Okay. Now your class is over.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Actually, I actually wanted to have a discussion, but since nobody is speaking, nobody turned up. So I have finished my block number 1. So I would like to continue block second in the in the next class. So tomorrow start in the block number 2, block second. Yes.
Okay. Now it's 5:20. 5:20 is there, and I think all the participants who are presenting here, like Jangachari, Hemalata, and Shweta, Gayatri, all students. I'm seeing their names, Sai Kiran and all.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
They
ma'am.
were participating in the discussion also earlier.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, they sometimes
Okay.
speak. I tell them to take part in the discussion. It is helpful for them. Yeah, and the class should be interactive and communicative in nature. That is, and this class, the paper is also called as English language teaching. So
Yeah,
interaction becomes very, very important.
yeah, that's true.
Yes,
That's
ma'am.
true.
Yes, ma'am.
And the motto of contact come counseling classes are interaction only. It's not like explaining
Yes,
like
ma'am. Yeah,
conventional
absolutely. It's not
university.
like teaching. Yeah,
It's different from
absolutely. Yeah. Yes,
conventional
ma'am. Yes,
university
ma'am.
to ODL. ODL,
Yes,
open and
right, right.
distance learning is
Right.
the main aim is that interaction only. I can see
Absolutely.
the
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
book
You are
here,
right.
literature as language. It is the book I think which Madhuri has sent to you, know.
No, ma'am, my paper is called English language teaching. English language teaching in India. That is what my is the course. The name of the course is English language teaching, course number 10. I
Yeah,
am
I
teaching
know that
that.
is the last paper,
Yes, ma'am.
but
Yes, ma'am.
here I can see that
Yes, ma'am. Last
literature
paper.
as language and language as experience. Some things it is written here on the screen.
Uh, on the screen.
Which book you are showing here on the screen? I cannot
No, no, okay,
see.
screen. Okay, yeah, yeah, ma'am. That is a different book. Okay, I might have shared the screen. Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am. That
that's
is.
what.
I'm actually collecting material from different books. I've asked my friends to mail me the books, and I have googled also. So three, four books I'm consulting to prepare for a class, since I don't have a
Okay.
textbook. Yes, yes,
And what about your students? Do they have the book with them?
yes, yes. Students have their book. I think maximum people have books. They have got the material already.
Then you
Yeah.
can ask questions because you don't have the book now. So you can ask the students what is written there, and you can ask them to explain that matter also. Sub points.
Yes, that's why I tell them, some things are also. Then I ask them to share their viewpoints, share their thoughts. But very less people do that, and
Yeah.
sometimes sometimes one student may speak, so a lot of people don't turn up for the discussion. We
Mm.
may have one student or maximum two students. So as you rightly said, the purpose of this counseling classes is interaction, but that is
Mm.
not happening actually. That is actually so teaching. I have been told that you have to go through the every topic.
Yeah.
We have to rush up, and even that is not possible because there are 20 units. We
You
have
motivate them
our
because the thing is, it will happen in English class only because you have got lot of strength. In other subjects, we don't have that much strength. So you can motivate the students to interact with you.
absolutely, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I'm trying my level, ma'am. I will do
Yeah,
that
yeah.
in the future also.
Okay. In the
Yes, ma'am.
morning, there were 27 students in the class. Now
Okay.
there are 10 students in your class now.
Yes, ma'am. Earlier, no. Earlier, there were many students. I think some of the students have left, and in my class, in the previous class, there were like 23 students, 25, 27 students also.
Yeah, yeah,
Since it's the
yeah, yeah.
last class, maybe students are disappearing. Students are not turning up. Since it's the last
Mm,
class, and today it was Sunday also,
yeah,
so
yeah.
they might, yeah.
That's true.
A lot of people bunk.
Yeah, yeah. We will expect tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday, and we
Yes,
will
ma'am.
expect the same. And the
Yeah.
exams will start from, I think, the date has come for second year classes.
Acha, acha. Okay.
I don't remember the date of examination. I think they
Okay.
have received the notification also. They can see in the website. Okay, Tawseef, have a nice day.
Okay, okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you. Same to you.
Okay,
Thank you.
bye bye.
Thank you for participating, ma'am. Thank you so much.